join Kelly and Laura, just two unfiltered mums here to share the more reality of parenthood. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of #MumLife. We have a very special guest on our podcast today who we're very excited to speak to, and that's Dr Jemma Andrew-Adiamh, who is an empowerment coach and a mentor, a mum of four, who is super passionate in supporting mums that might be feeling a little stuck in their motherhood journey and might just need that little bit of help to remind themselves that they are more than just a mum. And a congratulations in this welcome, as she's made it on to the Mother and Baby Top 20 Mum list of 2024, an official mumfluencer. Have I even said that correctly? Sounds like influencer, like influenza. So well done and welcome, Dr. Jemma.
Amazing. Dr. Jemma, do you want to tell everybody about you, about your incredible family, and tell everyone who you are?
Of course, thank you for inviting me on and having me as a guest, and thank you for the congratulations. I don't know what a mum influencer is or however you say that word, but I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm not sure what it means, but we'll go with it and celebrate the achievement.
Yeah, take
it. So yeah, I'm a mum of four. I've got a 9-year-old, a 5-year-old, and I've got twins. Our third baby became a fourth baby. And it's a juggle. It's everything that you can imagine that it is and more. Yeah. But it's also magical. It's wonderful. Life is very rich and busy, and it can be overwhelming. It can be very kind of overstimulating and all that stuff. But then there's so much goodness and so much beauty in it as well. And I wouldn't have it any other way now. Like, I never saw myself with so many children. And I guess some people would consider us as a big family, but my mum is one of 8. So to me, that's big. So 4 is quite restrained.
It is.
In my eyes. Using my grandparents as an example. But yeah, I run a business, coaching business for mums, where I help them break free from survival mode. Really helping them to find clarity, confidence, joy and fulfilment in their motherhood journey, and allowing them to reconnect with themselves outside of motherhood, with their passion and their purpose, through one-to-one coaching, through workshops and retreats, and also my podcast as well.
Amazing. You are a busy lady. And so many kids. Wow. 4 kids. I'm like 1 and I'm like, I don't think I could cope with any more.
I know, I'm like 2 and done. We have nothing but admiration for you.
Oh yeah. Did you have twins in the family? Was it a big shock?
Well, yeah, it was a shock. My 2 of my brother-in-laws, they're non-identical twins. And then on my side of my mum's side of the family, 2 of my cousins are identical twins, but there's no twins in her family line. It's from my uncle who married into the family, if that makes sense. Identical twins are spontaneous anyway. But you never expect to have that news broken to you that you've got twins. And it was really like anticlimactic. Like, there was no kind of pause or preparation when the sonographer was breaking the news to us. It was literally...
Really?
There was nothing to prepare us. Like, a baby appeared on the screen, and I'd been so sick. With my previous 2 pregnancies, they were pretty textbook. I didn't have any sickness. With Annie, I had nausea, but nothing, kind of not vomiting down the toilet a lot, and just really exhausted, so tired, and napping like a Trojan, like throughout the day. And so when we went for like the 13-week scan, this baby appeared on the screen, and I kind of joked saying, "Oh, so this is why I've been feeling so sick and so tired." And then the lady just said, "It's because there's 2 of them." And we're like, "Oh." You're like, "Oh."
Wow.
Yeah, there's no like, "I've got some news to break to you," or "Prepare yourself." Like,
boom, there you are.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
What a moment. So how on earth, with everything you have going on, do you even think about or have time for anything to do with self-care?
Because I think motherhood has taught me, and the work that I do, that I need something for myself. Like, I often say that my business saved my sanity, especially in those newborn days of my second child, just having that time, whether it was early in the morning, whether it was during nap times, late at night, after putting her down, to sleep, and in between the next feed. Those are the moments where I was really myself, where I had something detached from motherhood, where I was of value in a different way, where I was confident, where I was following my passion and my purpose. And I just love what I do. But also, I think there's that kind of stigma around mums to have everything put into motherhood, like all of their being has to go directly to their children. That societal expectation that they should be at the bottom of the priority list, where when you think about it logistically, how does that even make any sense? Because to be able to look after your children, you need to look after yourself. And even with
it's so true.
When I had my newborn twins, like, I still made time for myself, whether it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I kind of turned my head on what self-care is to me. So you often see messaging like that, self-care for mums isn't a shower or a solo kind of supermarket trip. For me, my showers were my self-care, because that's all the time that I had to myself. It allowed me to freshen up, so I wasn't stinking of like milk and whatever else bodily fluid
and the rest
I've been covered in. Exactly. It was just a bit of time to myself, my own headspace, and they really kind of replenished me. And also, like, going on a solo trip to the supermarket, it's like heaven to me. So I'm not like,
oh my God, I literally live for that.
Yes. I'm not refereeing between my two eldest ones in the bread aisle, and like my son is doing knee skids down the aisle, and I'm having mortifying moment, like, oh my God, why is my child doing this? Your self-care can be whatever it is that you want it to be. It can be something really simple. It can be going for a walk. It can be listening to a podcast like this one. It can be making a really cool playlist that you enjoy, dancing around your kitchen. It can be time in the garden. It can be, planting new flowers. It could be buying yourself flowers. It doesn't have to cost anything. It could be something that makes you feel like something that connects you to yourself, that makes you feel grounded, supported, and uplifted. And we see, self-care as bubble baths and spa days and holidays and shopping trips. But it isn't about that. It's about creating a life that you don't want to escape from. And sometimes it can be really uncomfortable. Sometimes it can be gritty. It can be ugly. It can be leaving a toxic relationship. It can be being really brave and having some really awkward conversations. It can be facing the reality of your finances, and if you're heavily in debt, and kind of creating a plan and a budget to get yourself out of that. It's not all kind of Instagram pretty. It can be, there's that uncomfortableness as well. But I just know that I'm a better mum, and actually a better human, when I've had some time for myself. And as I say, as a mum, I don't have that much time to myself. So for me, I really respect that sacred time of 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever I have. And I always go into that time asking myself, what is it that I need? Rather than having a plan, like a regimented self-care routine. I always ask myself that question, so it's more of an intuitive approach, and it takes that pressure off having to have this kind of 7-step miracle routine, because as a mum, we just don't have that privilege of that time, and it allows that sense of flexibility to come into your day as well. And I think as mums, we need flexibility, which is really important.
Yeah,
there's so many amazing tips there that you've given, how self-care can look, and actually that you do have to be flexible with it, because I think actually it then can almost become stressful if you're thinking, but I wanted to do this 7-step miracle routine that I always do, and then if you can't do it, it's almost has the complete opposite effect than what you were trying to create for first time round. I think when I was in the thick of it with George, my first, we were in lockdown as well. It was difficult, and I remember I had to try and do something to shift how I was feeling and what to do about it. And I remember reading something that said, just when you wake up, think of 3 things that you want to do for you. And it can be, like you said, something as really little as I want to have a hot cup of tea at some point in the day. Yeah. And that's going to be one thing I'm going to do. Like you said, I'm going to wash my hair in the shower and just take that time for me, and just, having those little things to focus on.
I think this is such a good topic to talk about, self-care, isn't it? Because I generally, at the moment, feel it is like a luxury these days, but it should be a necessity, right? And going back to what you said, Jem, in regards to having a shower, I thanked Connor the other day, my husband, for allowing me to have a long shower. I washed my hair, I blow dried my hair, I straightened my hair, and then I put some makeup on. Then I got into clothes that actually weren't like baggy, kind of, slobby clothes. And it actually made me feel so much better, because I actually was prioritizing my own needs, which was to wash my 4-day hairsprayed slick back hair. But I actually generally feel like I was able to show up as like a better mum and wife that day. It's amazing. Little things. It can be, like you said, it can be anything. It can be small little things, having your hot cup of tea rather than leaving it, till it's cold and got to throw it away.
Or microwaving it.
Oh God,
yeah. We've all been there. We've all been there. But Gemma, do you think with mums and parents that are really in the thick of it, do you think it requires a complete mindset shift to be able to do that?
Definitely. I think it's hard in those first instances. Like creating any new habit you really have to first believe that you are worthy of your own care and have that self-value and realize the importance of it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's just going to feel like another thing on the to-do list. Also be committed and dedicated to it. Like you have to really want it to happen, and it can be hard, but starting small, like with 5 minutes or 10 minutes, if you think 10 minutes in 24 hours just for you is like such a powerful reframe. Because that's when you see it like that, it's not that much time, but it's like a cumulative effect. As you do it on a daily basis, it will add up, and you're going to feel so much better for it and see such a shift in how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your life. You can feel less frazzled, and not to say that the challenging, overwhelming moments won't go away, but you'll be better equipped to deal with them because you have the energy and the headspace to navigate through them, because you've taken that space for yourself. And it's just so powerful.
How do we actually find time for self-care though? So, we know we should be doing it, we want to do it, but how do we actually do it? I suppose.
First and foremost, it's about finding what you enjoy, not getting lost in what other people are doing. Because I think it's so easy just to scroll on Instagram and see someone kind of meditating at sunset or dawn or whatever, and these beautiful kind of images, and think that's attainable for you. But as a mum, sometimes when I get the time to meditate, it's literally with my 5-year-old in bed, wrapped around me like a koala bear, and I've literally just got my AirPods in, and that's just what it is. And it's not very Insta pretty or anything like that, but it's just me showing up for myself. Exactly. It's just mum life, isn't it? So finding what works for you and experimenting. As humans, we're very seasonal. And what works for us in one season isn't necessarily going to work for us in another. So just allowing that kind of room for play and for flow with your self-care routine as well. It's okay that if what worked for you before isn't working for you now, and just try something new. I think the word routine can have negative associations of having to be regimented, having to be the same thing all the time, and when you don't have time for it, or it's not working for you, you feel like a failure, or you feel like something's not right with you, which isn't the case at all. It just means that your needs have shifted and you moved into a new season, and it's time to nourish yourself in a different way. So that's really important. And just, I guess, making a date with yourself, being really intentional of when you're going to make that time for yourself. So for me, my morning routine is essential. Like, it anchors me in my day, like having that space. And again, whether it's, sometimes it's just 5 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes, depending on what time I wake up. But I need that time before my kids wake up. Like, I need a buffer between when I wake up and when my kids wake up. Otherwise, I just feel like I've been spat out by the washing machine. Like, it's just chaos. Like,
that's a really good way to put it. Yeah. So it's all about finding those pockets of time throughout the day to, as you said, to like nourish ourselves in the midst of all the chaos, right? And I think, I'm trying to give a tip to myself now. So I need to remember to prioritize my self-care, and it's not being selfish to do that. And by doing it, I suppose by modeling self-care, then we're going to be teaching our kids the importance of valuing their own well-being. Right. So it's so important. I'm saying this like I need to reframe my mindset to actually do this now.
Holly and I are just going to listen to this episode over and over again. I think how you raise a really good point there about like the whole mum guilt, and how actually any time we take for ourselves, immediately we are just filled with this mum guilt of, oh, but I shouldn't be doing this because it's selfish. I should be with my kids. And I think, like you said, when you're scrolling and things like that, and you see all those captions that are like, you need to be everything for them, like they only have their childhood once, and it's obviously completely true. But at the same time, when you do then take that 30 minutes, it's like, oh, but I shouldn't be doing it. Should I be doing it? I'll just cut it short and I'll just go back to them, or, you know. So how do we handle that mum guilt, do you think?
I think it's a really hard one, because the mum guilt, it never leaves us, whether we've got kind of, you know, tiny children up to like adult children. I think it's something that stays with us throughout our motherhood journey. However, the way you kind of manage it and navigate it can really impact you as a mother, and sometimes it's hard to control, right? The mum guilt, it just kind of creeps upon you unexpectedly at the smallest of things. But I think when it comes to self-care and kind of reframing it as, actually, you deserve this time, and not because you're a mum, because you're a human. I think my narrative around self-care has really changed over the past 6 months, because we see a lot of messaging around self-care for mums means that we are better mums to our children, and I'm a massive advocate for that. Like, I believe, like, when we take time for ourselves, we are better mums, we're better wives, partners, sisters, you know, the whole shebang. However, we deserve self-care because we're human, you know, and the byproduct of that is that we're better mothers to our children. And I think it's really important that we acknowledge that and we recognise that, and we're okay with that. It's almost like we use self-care, we're using that as an excuse to take that time for ourselves. Like, oh, well, I'll just take some time for myself so I'm a better mum to my children. But actually, you need to take time for yourself because you're a human. And
it's a fundamental need, isn't it? Like
exactly
eating and drinking.
That.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think I've seen it like that, actually.
No,
I see it as like a bit of
way to see it.
A bit of a bonus of like, oh yeah, like, ooh, like I'm not consistent with it at all either. And I think as mums, we are always the last to do things, whether that's I don't know, having a shower last, brushing our teeth last, like eating last, like we let our food go cold because we want to, like I always want to put Mila and Connor first, but actually what you're saying is I should prioritize myself because I'm more likely to be better in myself, have probably more patience, more energy, more resilience to cope with day 50,000 of being a mum. And it will benefit them both as well.
Yeah,
exactly that. And also it's that kind of reward culture that we live in as well. Like I see a lot of mums using self-care as reward. Like I'll just fold the laundry, then I'll go and sit down with my cup of tea. Why not have your cup of tea and sit down and then fold the laundry? You don't, like, you know, self-care isn't a reward, it's not a luxury, it's not a treat, it's a necessity, it's essential, like feeding yourself. And I think when you are starting out and if you are in those kind of hazy newborn days of motherhood and you want to build a self-care routine, or not, if you're kind of further on in the motherhood journey, It's really important to focus on those basics. So making sure that you're hydrated, making sure that you're getting quality sleep. I know sometimes children interrupt your sleep, and
Sore spot.
times, exactly. Several times in the night, but making sure that the sleep that you are getting is really good quality, so not scrolling on your phone at night and that kind of thing. Making sure that you're nourished with food, making sure that you're going to the toilet, like, and not holding it in. Like, you deserve to go to the toilet when you need to go, not kind of holding it in and kind of doing like kind of wiggle dance. Go to the toilet when you need to go. Like, these are really basic things, and basic ways to look after yourself, and make sure that you do those first, and then start layering on the other aspects of looking after yourself. So I know, going for the walks, doing a yoga workout, or I don't know, gardening, or whatever it is that you want to do to nourish yourself.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, indulging in the small pleasures, like, for me, brings me joy is to be able to drink a hot cup of tea or cup of coffee. And then, as I said, like, not making a brew and then taking 2 sips and then getting pulled back into mumland, and it's cold or it goes to waste. My husband will go, you've never finished a cup of tea I've made you. And I'm like, not because I didn't want to. But also, me and Laura have been talking recently about we need some R&R. I know you said at the beginning it's not always about going to a spa or something, but we're going to get a bit of a spa day or something in and drink all the wine together. That is definitely a plan.
So we just feel like, yeah, you are more than welcome.
I would love to.
Because I popped in for a cuppa at yours, didn't I, Cal, last week?
Yes.
And it has been nearly, I mean, we talk all the time. Oh my God. But it had been nearly a year since we'd seen each other.
Like, we speak to each other all the time, but actually arranging getting together in person is really impossible with just Laura, because Laura moved away. I blame you, okay? But just with,
Sorry, not sorry.
Kids, work, life, and time just flies so fast.
Like, we just couldn't believe how much time had gone by and we hadn't prioritized us. Just catching up face to face.
Jem, do you think society could play a better role in helping mums a little bit more?
I think it's very easy to put the blame on mums and telling them that self-care is like a fix-all solution, because it's harder to sort out the societal issues, and self-care isn't a fix-all solution. By telling mums to go in self-care, it's almost putting the blame on mums and telling them there's something wrong with them. However, let's look at the things that are stopping them taking some time for themselves, like the rocketing childcare costs. Like, where's the village? Where's the village with, retirement age increasing, grandparents who probably would like to help out can't, because they can't afford to, to take that time away from employment. The access to maternal health, mental health services is terrible. Like, the waiting times are horrendous, and society do need to be doing a lot more. I don't know what the answer is, and it's such a complex issue, but I think society, a lot of the blame has to be put with society when it comes to mums feeling so kind of overwhelmed, burnt out. Like, it's almost an epidemic of mums feeling so burnt out and overwhelmed and kind of dissociating from their children, being overstimulated and touched out. And it's so sad to see that happening when motherhood is such a beautiful and joyous thing. And yes, it's hard, but to see that happening to so many mums I think it's really heartbreaking.
I think that's so true, isn't it, Cal? Like, I remember like when Cal was we're both sort of in the thick of it, me with Isla and you with Mila, and it would just be when we're working full time, nights are being disrupted, and you're almost on this like survival mode. We would just go like months, but we haven't seen anybody, because when it gets to the weekend or when we're not working, we just need to just stop. But even you can't, obviously, when you're a parent as well. So we just felt like life almost just was going on around us, wasn't it, Cal? And we would just, and then suddenly you're like,
it's a whirlwind.
It's all these months later.
childcare, like absolutely, like hello second mortgage. It's mental. And I think, like, I get it. Like, Mila absolutely loves nursery, and I can't say that she hasn't flourished, because she has, and she's become very confident, but it is painful. And I've had people actually say to me, God, Kelly, you know, you work full time, you run a business, like, why don't you work part time? I'm like, well, you know, I've got to pay for my child to go. Like, it's kind of like, how do you balance it? I'd love to be able to stay at home and spend more time with Mila, but you know, with the current economy and everything that's going on, it's just not possible currently. So it's very challenging at times. And things like flexible working, Jem. So like, I think some companies are really good at supporting flexible working for mums. I have to say, like, my company is really good for that. So I work full time, but I've kind of worked longer days, but in a shorter. I do a 4-day week. Well, I say a 4-day week. I mostly work on the 5th, but you know, there we go. You work full time and beyond. But yeah, it's really weird because I still feel guilty I'm not part-time, I'm full-time, but because I do a 4-day week, I feel guilty when I do try and take that time, which is my Friday, to spend with Mila. I feel like people might think, oh, you know, Kelly, like, we work harder because we work 5 days. And it's not that, but I feel like I have to push myself even harder, like to the point where I take my phone to the toilet just in case my team need me. You know, it's silly things like that I'm definitely need to work on boundaries as a self-care. But I don't know whether that's a little bit of a society thing, stereotypical thing, if you're not working full days. And I'm assuming here it's probably like my insecurity a little bit, but yeah, that's where I felt a little bit going back to work.
Working kind of like the 4 days, do you feel like you have to prove yourself because you're not doing the 5 days?
Yeah, 100%. Even though I'm in mostly the 5th day.
You absolutely are.
Yeah, I feel I do have to prove myself. And sometimes, because I am in a leadership position, and as a woman, like, it's great that, you know, you are at that level, you feel like you've got to prove yourself that little bit more. And I think that's a bit of a society thing as well.
It's like a double whammy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think with working mums all feel that, don't they? Because you want to prove that you've not lost who you were before you had children. And I think
you're still capable. You can still do it.
I mean, Kel and I know there's loads of mums out there that are really career driven. And before we had our kids, like, that was it. We had these goals. This is what we're going to do. And obviously that shifts when you have kids because they take priority. But then I feel like you still have, something to prove, which then takes away from your self-care, because then you're pushing yourself harder. Then you're trying to be there, obviously present as well with your family. And then you just get to burnout, don't you?
And that's why it's so important to take some time back for yourself. And I know we've talked about prioritizing yourself, but I think it's more about including yourself in the same care and kindness and love that you give so freely to others. And that can help reframe that kind of guilt around taking time for yourself. And there should be no guilt. It should be something you do unapologetically, because, like we said, you deserve it and you need it.
Yeah.
To replenish your energy reserves. Like, when our phone's dead, we automatically reach for the charger and plug it in. Just think of yourself as a phone. When you're low on energy, you need charging up.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good analogy. I
need plugging in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you. Definitely. That sounds a bit wrong, actually.
Okay, I'm
sorry.
So sorry. I did not mean it like that.
It's a form of self-care, right? I'm joking. PG, Cal, PG.
This has now taken a turn. Oh my goodness.
Oh God. Look, more honest conversations like these on like social platforms like yours though, Jem, like to promote honest, vulnerable conversations. Like on your podcast, you have some great people come on and you do great episodes about self-care, etc. Go check it out, guys. But like, I that's why we're doing this podcast. We love to be kind of raw and vulnerable and just talk about the reality of motherhood. So look, I think as we wrap up today's episode, I think let's take a moment to celebrate the wins, no matter how small, whether it's surviving a tantrum-filled Aldi trip or carving out 5 minutes of peace to have like the hot cup of tea. Every victory counts, right? And I think we all need to prioritize ourselves more because, as you said, Jem, like we deserve it. Us mamas deserve it.
Yeah, we absolutely do. So you can check out Gemma's Instagram, which is, and correct me if I'm wrong, _Dr.Jemma. Is that how people can find you?
Yes,
amazing.
They can.
So please go and follow. And then Gemma's podcast, which is Reclaiming Mum. Please go and have a listen. It's available on all of the podcast platforms. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. We've really appreciated it. This is our self-care.
Yeah, this really is. Thank you, Gemma. It's been lovely speaking to you.
I love that. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a joy to chat to you. I've loved this conversation.
And hopefully we'll speak to you soon.
Until next time all, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.
Bye.